cafe anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Don't you just want to say anyway to some of this stuff going on today? It's episode 2146.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
2147. I'm Mike Matthews. I took a day off because I had to go and try to stop all the craziness in my head because of last night. This thing isn't going to ever end, is it? Although the end is in sight, depending on what party you're on. So,
Mike's Daily Podcast.
If you're in one particular party, you might just file a lawsuit against the state that said you were losing.
Mike's
How dare you say I was losing?
Daily
I'm going to sue you.
Podcast.
Because that's what I do.
Yeah!
Let's think back now, shall we? 4 years ago, there was one candidate who lost, and she said, you know what? I guess that's over with. Thank you. Good night. Did she try suing the states where she was losing in? No. Did she sue the states that decided to vote for the other candidate? No. But that's the type of person we have here, so it's going to take a while, everybody. Get ready. Get ready for all this stuff. And having heard the rhetoric from one particular lawyer of one of the candidates involved, I heard a lot of conspiracy theory, almost to the point where I wanted to go in my kitchen and find that little roll that's hidden in the cabinet that I use to cover up the casserole once it's done, and give the guy a sheet of the shiny metal substance and say, hey, put that on your head, because I know you're afraid of some of those waves coming into your brain to get you and control what you're thinking. Yeah, that's the kind of staff, the kind of people that one of the candidates that ran in this election likes to employ. And that's not really, in the end, that does everyone a disservice, doesn't it? Just throwing that out there at the very beginning of the show.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Not liking what I see. Not that, depending on, I don't know who you voted for, but I just don't like that type of approach to life. Hey, I want to do this podcast picture today from a trip I took on Sunday, a nice little walk with my lovely lady friend. Oh, what a walk it was. It was uphill mostly. I think there were some downhill parts. I don't remember. It was dark at that point. The uphill parts, wow. I remember those parts. But we did get a nice view. I'll show you this podcast picture at mikesdailypodcast.com. Basil was there in spirit. It was there. He was with us in spirit, enjoying the wonderful walk. But this was in Tilden, in the Berkeley area, in the hills, which Berkeley Hills don't have much in the way of fall foliage. No trees really that to allow for fall foliage. It's lots of just evergreens and that kind of thing. But a pretty picture. See it at mikesdailypodcast.com. Okay. I'm not going to talk too much politics here. Because everybody is, right? It's right? And I'm a millennial all of a sudden, right? But there is some stuff on my mind, and I don't like the conspiracy theory angle. When anybody gets into that realm, that's when I go, goodbye. Enough of you. I mean, here's the thing. We're all going to have different political opinions. It's ridiculous if we don't communicate with each other. If, like, you go, I'm not going to talk to my cousin Fran anymore because cousin Fran believes blah, 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 which is polar opposite from me. Because when we stop talking and stop listening, and I think Biden actually threw this out there today of that, looks like we're going to win. Here's the thing. When we're done, we're going to remember that we're all Americans. We may be blue states, we may be red states. None of those states, we're all American states. We're the United States. And he said that out there, and I don't hear any of the conservative talk show hosts talking about that. That was amazingly helpful and American to say, and patriotic. And I don't hear any of the conservative talk shows talk about it. All they want to do is pull out the Hunter Biden thing. And why didn't the liberal media discuss Hunter Biden at all? When, okay, Trump has about 100 stories like the Hunter Biden story. And how much do we really, I mean, yes. Even if you believe all of those stories are false, and even if you believe that it's unfair, do you really think the whole Hunter Biden thing, that's just, wow. And then I'm hearing, too, that NBC actually tried to investigate what Giuliani was talking about, and Giuliani wouldn't even give NBC any information. It's like, okay, well, then what are you talking about? I don't know. There might be something there. I don't trust any politicians. At the same time, it's the pot calling the kettle black when you've got Trump with all of his stories and Hunter Biden's plus 30,000 with whatever's going on and the emoluments clause and all that. Hey, on to another topic. So I was hearing a lovely conversation with an old woman on the radio the other day. Turned out it was David Sedaris. I'm like, who is this funky old lady? Listen to her. She's got a Fitbit. And she's got all this stuff going on where she's checking out her health. And, she flew to Australia and she ended up resetting her fantastic walking record that she had. Good for her. And then I found out it's David Sedaris, Amy Sedaris' brother. He's the author. He's the guy who sells billions of books. Amy Sedaris was in Strangers with Candy. And she has a very interesting relationship with Stephen Colbert. Whenever Stephen gets to interview her, it's hilarious. And that goes back to when Stephen Colbert actually hosted The Daily Show for about a week when Jon Stewart was away. And the two of them are funny. Okay, the other thing I wanted to point out as we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley today, is Carl Sagan. As crazy as things get, just please remember Carl Sagan and put on Cosmos. It's on YouTube. And just realize how groundbreaking a show. You might laugh at some of the special effects, but just realize that I think there's just only a little bit of CGI technology that they had back then. I think this is 80, 81, somewhere in that time frame. And they used the CGI only to show, I think they go through every possible organism that existed, like when we were just totally, all we had on Earth were the multi-celled organisms. And then you see these shapes kind of morph. It was early morphing before Michael Jackson did all the morphing stuff. And I think it was one of the first times it was used in a music video for black and white. Remember that at the end when all the faces are morphing into the other ones? But this was early technology. What they used to show like the universe and you're flying through space and all that was actual animation. They did the old cells and the old 2D animation to make it look as 3D as possible, like you were flying through space. And despite all of that, just everything he had to say about the cosmos and about how the expanses of distances between the stars and how we are just miracles here on Earth. And I think the guy was an atheist, but just there's a sense of the divine. Even if God isn't implied, it's something implied. That how the heck did this all come to be? It's amazing. And Carl, he died way too young. But it's so fun to watch him and the way he talks and his billions upon billions of stars and tiny nucleic acids and how he gets so excited about it all. It's fun to watch. Anyway, I found that cafe anyway on YouTube, was watching that. And yes, also the Netflix show Connections I was discussing with Ken on the last show. And this guy, his last name, once again, I can't remember his name. Shoot. It's like something with an L. But this young guy kind of reminds me of like a goofy Carl Sagan version. but very smart and uncovers all kinds of fascinating stuff. One last comment about Election Day, and then we'll see. By the time you listen to this, we may have a new president already. Trump may have sued the pants off of Biden and sued America back again. Sued America great again. Who knows? But I was so phone bombed on Election Day. All the spam calls. And I've got the Android phone, and I got the Google, the way no, this is Samsung. That allows you to spam block all the calls that you get, and the texts. I use some kind of Google app for that. I think their messaging app, and I'm spam blocking every possible. I hope they're doing something with these numbers that I'm spam marking, because they're awful, these companies, these people that do this. If Trump makes it into the White House again, or if he won't leave the White House even after 2024. If he's still in there, he won't leave anyway. Pence has got a lot on his hands. He won't, or whoever comes in 2024. But whoever's in the White House, I hope they do something about this spamming thing. It's terrible, I say. And I'm old, and I'm talking about whatnot, and all the people on BART doing all their chicanery and the craziness and the riffraff. Arr. I went pirate there. Hey, look who's outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley. The last place on earth. Hello, Michael Master. It's Madame Rootabega. And what's going on right now? Oh, an election. And they're counting ballots. And the mail-in ballots are coming in. And they're counting those. But Trump doesn't want any more mail-in ballots to come in because he knows they're all going to be Democrat. So I don't know if that's exactly fair. If this goes to the Supreme Court, I hope that smart people, they're supposed to be using their brains, and I hope there's a little bit of brain matter that is used, and that they realize that they will be judged by history, and that they don't allow some of the idiocy stuff to happen. That's what's going on. Okay, I'm sorry I asked. Oh, have you enjoyed the election so far? Yes. Do you want there to be another election? Yes. Have you been lying to me with all these questions I'm asking? No. Okay. Well, it's good to know. I think that was supposed to go the other way. Those answers were supposed to be like no, and then yes. But it wasn't. She didn't follow the script. Look who else is here. Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant. And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Mike, look at this. I got here an I voted sticker there. Yeah, we voted. Do you know that? That's right, you did. And that's right. An I voted sticker was given to people when they voted. Fantastic. There was also, what's the other thing that they got? They got a Tootsie Roll. Oh, no, wait. That was the couple days earlier on Halloween. Yeah. And, last show, Bison Bentley. Oh, there's like a little spot on my... What is this thing? I'm videotaping myself, and there's like this weird apparition happening in front of the camera. Ghosts, my friend. Conspiracy theories, my friend. Craziness, my friend. Anyway, Cafe Anyway, Bison Bentley, Ken did a little homage to you last show. That's great. Do you know that? So, that's the end of the show. Next show, it's going to be the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the Engineer. Thank you for listening. What do you think about any of this? Please chime in. 336MM Daily. 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM as in Mike Matthews. Daily as in what this podcast tries to be. And we will visit your comments in the section emails from email and your common not so comments. Good luck. God bless America.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.